Et donc, quel effet
So,
ça fait?
what's it like?
C'est le premier prix que tu reçois.
This is the first prize
Ça
you've
fait un
received.
effet, je pense à tout le monde, gigantesque, mais à moi,
It's overwhelming
j'ai beaucoup
for
de mal
everyone, no doubt.
à mettre des mots sur mon
Insofar as
émotion.
I'm concerned, I find it
La
difficult
première,
to describe, to
mis à
put
part que ce
words to
film
the
me fait
emotion.
vivre, et nous fait vivre avec Stéphane Brisé, le metteur en scène, et moi, des choses
With
inouïes.
Stéphane Brisé, the
Depuis,
director,
un mois et demi,
we
je vais arriver au prix, mais je
lived
voudrais
something
raconter le
incredible
cheminement.
while
On m'aurait
shooting
dit,
the film.
quand on a tourné ce film, qu'on a fait
When
avec beaucoup
we
de passion,
shot the film,
et on
well, we
voulait
shot it with
faire un
great
film,
passion.
j'ai envie de dire, qui est le cours normal des choses.
We wanted
On m'aurait dit,
to
est-ce que tu voudrais
show
que
everyday life
ce
in the
film
film.
soit réussi? J'aurais dit, bah oui.
If I had been asked, do you want the film to be good? Well, it is. If someone had said, do you want it to be in Cannes, I would have said yes, and it was. It was in the official selection.
On m'aurait dit après, mais est-ce que tu aimerais bien qu'il y ait,
Had I been asked,
que toute la presse,
would
quasiment
you
toute la presse,
like
non, toute la
almost
presse soit
all
unanime? J'aurais
the
dit,
press to
c'est
be
impossible,
unanimous?
mais
I
oui.
said, that's
Ça a
impossible,
été
but
le
I'd
cas.
love that
Est-ce que
if
tu
it were the
aimerais
case,
avoir
and
une
it
standing
was.
ovation avec le
Would you
metteur en
like to
scène
have a
qui
standing
dure 9
ovation
minutes? J'aurais dit,
with
c'est pas
the
possible.
director that would last 9
Mais
minutes?
là,
I would have said it was
et après
impossible,
ce soir,
but it
j'étais
occurred.
dans mon fauteuil et tout d'un coup, j'ai
I
vu
was
Lambert
in my
Wilson se
seat
retourner
this evening, and I saw
et dire
Lambert Wilson turn
à Ethan et
around,
Joel Cohen, les présidents
and he said, Ethan and Joel Cohen, the
du jury,
presidents of the jury,
pour le best actor.
for the
Et tout
Best
d'un coup, j'ai
Actor
entendu
Award, and
un des
suddenly
frères Cohen dire
one of the Cohen
Vincent
brothers said,
Lindon.
Vincent Lindon.
Et je sais pas,
I don't know.
je peux pas expliquer ce que ça m'a
I
fait.
can't explain
J'ai
how I felt.
j'ai vraiment cru que j'allais avoir un.
I thought,
J'en suis pas revenu,
truly,
j'ai pas l'habitude, c'est la
well,
première fois.
I was
Une première
absolutely
fois,
overwhelmed.
dans tout, c'est incroyable, mais alors une première fois devant
A first
tous les
time
gens
in
du
whatever
métier
it
qu'on
may
fait
be
depuis
is
30 ans,
incredible, but a first time
et
in a
qu'on
job
fait,
that you've been doing for 30
assidûment et avec
years
beaucoup d'amour,
with great
parce que
love
j'aime ça à
and
la
passion,
folie,
because I
avec tous les
love
plus grands de ce monde,
acting,
de toutes les
well,
professions
to
confondues,
be
les journalistes,
with all
les
the
scénaristes, les metteurs en scène, les
great
producteurs,
of this world, the
les acteurs, les
directors,
actrices.
the actors, the actresses, the producers.
J'ai du mal
I find it
à expliquer ce que j'ai vécu.
difficult to
Et après,
explain
j'étais
what I
pris dans un
felt.
brouhaha d'interviews.
And
Et
then
à chaque fois que je
I had
pose
a
une
whole
question,
host of
j'ai toujours envie
interviews,
de regarder comme ça derrière moi.
and every time a
en me disant,
question
mais
is put, I
en
want
fait, je
to
suis la
look
personne qui
behind
vient à la
me,
place de Vincent Lindon, ils ont dû se tromper. C'est incroyable.
thinking,
Et pourtant,
well,
j'ai pas 15 ans.
maybe they're mistaken.
55
Maybe it's
ans,
not
je suis
me
un homme
that the question is
responsable.
intended for.
Mais là,
Yet
j'avoue
I'm
que
a responsible person.
c'est un
I'm
choc énorme.
55 years old, and,
Et une
and
joie
it came as a
immense, parce
huge
que ça fait
shock
plaisir aux gens que
and a
j'aime, qui
tremendous
m'entourent.
joy, because it's such a pleasure for the people I love.
Cohen, c'est un petit plus.
And is it a plus to have the prize awarded by the
c'est un
Cohen
gros
brothers?
plus.
It's a
Ces deux
major
metteurs en
plus.
scène que j'ai envie d'appeler un metteur en scène. J'ai vu
These
quasiment,
two, or
je
rather
pense, tous les films des frères
a sort
Cohen.
of combined one
C'est ce que
director,
j'avais
are incredible.
qualifié
I've
comme
seen
des-
all their films.
Oui, des génies du cinéma
They're
contemporain.
geniuses
C'est-
in
ils sont pas les seuls, mais
contemporary
ils font
cinema.
partie de l'histoire du
They're
cinéma
not alone,
mondial.
but they're part of
C'est des très, très, très,
the
très,
history
très, très,
of
très
cinema
puissants
in the
metteurs en
world.
scène.
They're very, very powerful
Ils
directors.
ont vu, je leur ai dit
I said to them,
quand on est sorti de scène, je
when
suis
we
tombé à
left the
côté
stage,
de Joel Cohen, qui
I was
m'a
next
pris
to
par le
Joel
bras, qui m'a
Cohen.
dit,
He
I'm so
took my
happy,
arm
I'm
and
so
said, I'm
glad
so
for you.
happy, I'm
You
so
can't
glad for
imagine-
you. You can't
you can't
imagine
imagine
it.
how I'm glad.
You can't imagine
Et je
how
me dis,
glad I am. And I said,
quand je pense que vous avez vu mon travail,
well, when I
vous êtes
think
resté
that
1h30
you
concentré
saw
avec
my
votre
work,
frère
you spent
et
an
tout le
hour and a
reste du
half
jury,
with
hein.
your brother
Et vous
and all
avez,
the other members of the
vous m'avez
jury
regardé
watching the film.
faire mon métier, jouer.
You just watched me doing my
C'est
job,
incroyable. Mais c'est pas un
acting.
truc d'enfant,
It's quite
de fan,
incredible.
c'est pas, je ne serais pas comme ça avec tout le monde. C'est pas parce qu'ils.
I wouldn't be
c'est pas
like
par
that
rapport à leur
with
notoriété.
everyone.
C'est pas ça
It's
qui
not
m'intéresse.
because they're so well
C'est
known.
que
That's
être regardé
not
par
what
des gens
really
qui
interests
connaissent
me.
le cinéma, par des gens
It's
qui
to
font
be
un
watched
cinéma
by
sublime.
people who are
C'est
so
extrêmement
knowledgeable
gratifiant.
about the
Il
cinema.
n'y a pas
It's
question de
very
savoir s'ils vont
gratifying.
prendre un genre dans un film, c'est pas mon problème. Ça n'est pas le leur d'ailleurs. Ça
It's
tombe
not a
très bien.
question of
C'est-
being in one of their films. That's
J'ai
not
l'impression d'être extrêmement
something they were thinking about either, no doubt.
gamin et bête ce soir.
I felt
Parce que quand on a une très, très
like a
grande émotion,
child
je
this
pense que
evening.
ça altère
When you
sur,
have such a
sur
strong
l'intelligence
emotion, I think it has
et
an
sur
impact on your intelligence.
sur le pouvoir
It
d'analyse.
has an
Je
impact
pense
on your
qu'on
ability to
redevient à
analyze
l'état
things. I
d'enfant.
think you revert
Et donc,
to a childlike state.
On n'a pas beaucoup de... On est juste expressif.
And one just tries to express oneself as best one can.
Bonsoir, monsieur.
Good evening.
Félicitations.
Congratulations.
Franchement, j'ai vu dans la cérémonie votre
I was moved by you during the ceremony. What touched you so deeply? Did this make you think of your profession, your job, your life? It was wonderful to play this part. I have the impression that all the characters I played in the past, and I'd like to thank all the directors who chose me, who filmed me, and who liked my work. I had the impression that all these parts sort of converged in such a way that one day I would be able to play and act the way I did as Thierry. Through this character, I found things in myself that I ignored. I think that human beings are very interesting, and that's why we have psychoanalysis. That's why there is psychoanalysis, because we don't even know ourselves in terms of our innermost secrets. When you say something very intimate to someone, you may feel you're revealing a secret, but in fact, you don't know yourself. You need somebody else to enable these things to emerge. For example, if you're a writer, you write a book and you're surprised by what comes out. You didn't realize you had this in your gut. And it's only later on in interviews that people will say to the writer, well, when you wrote this, did you mean this or that? And then the writer realizes this is an aspect of himself he didn't know. In the cinema, it's the same. When I saw the film, when I saw myself in the film, I saw things about me that I didn't recognize, I didn't know. I didn't know I could be so expressive without even talking. I didn't know that I could embody so much pain. I didn't know that I could show such dignity, suffering in silence as Thierry. I didn't realize that I could express so much hope through this character. It's a film which holds out great hope. It shows that one can, with great dignity, stand tall, and that really moved me no end. I acted Thierry, and through him I felt great empathy with people, and as people empathize with me, I'm proud to play a part where people go to see the film and say to their friends or their wife, well, you see, that guy, he's like me. That's why I like acting, so that you can be me, and I can be you. That's what interests me. It may be a comedy, a thriller, a science fiction film. I think all films can be great films, providing there's a good story. Films have to speak to people so that 15 or 20 years later, people say that was the state of the world at that time. You have very great films done by Capra, Gary Cooper, John Doe. They talk about the crisis in 29. You talk about films before the war, after the war, films before 68, after 1968. Now you have films after the year 2000, before the year 2000, before or after the internet, since we've had mobile phones or before mobile phones. The film industry reflects the world. And when a film like this is so close to people and their daily lives, that really moves me. Moreover, I received this award, and not just for any old film. I got it for a film which talks about people in their daily walks of life. I've reached an age, also, had this happened when I was 35 or 36, I would have been very pleased indeed. Now, I've become quite mature as a person, as an actor. I've reached a point in my life where you hope for a lot without expecting anything, or the other way around. I'm prepared to receive things now. It's hard to receive things. It's easier to give than to take. And now I've reached a point where I can also take. I'm crazy with joy and deeply moved. Thank you. Thank you very much.